Hi, my name is Aya. You're watching Aya Reads, and you might think, who is this girl? Where has she been? I have been in a big reading slump. Also, my personal life is a bit busy, or has been, well, I mean, technically still is a bit busy for a month now. So real life has been distracting me from reading. In fact, I have not read anything this month. I just started the new Liz Tom Ford, which that is one of my favorite series, and I have to kind of force myself to read it. So Play Along by Liz Tom Ford. So hopefully I can finish it this month in July, but I've only read, I think I started it the day before yesterday, and I only read like 10 pages and I haven't picked it up since, so still not out of my reading. So moving on, I am still gonna do my TBR, but I'm not gonna force myself to read anything. I'm just gonna mood read a lot, but hopefully some of these books can also help me get into the reading mood again. What I'm talking about, I'm not gonna force myself to read anything, is I'm not gonna try and make a lot of reading vlogs because I haven't read anything for my reading vlogs that I was supposed to do in June or July. We're just gonna see, I'm just gonna do 5 challenges, and then there's some new releases that hopefully I can get to. So let's get started. Sorry, I just had to check if my mic was on, since I also haven't filmed in a long time, taking me to get used to it. Okay, so read a mystery. So this is a prompt that I've been getting a lot. Let me think. What do I want to read for a mystery? I'm gonna go for The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. So this, even though it starts a new series for me, I've been meaning to read this one for a very long time. I actually bought it when I was in London this year. So this to me, it's obviously a cozy mystery. Like I said, I've just been hearing so many good things about it, so it would be nice to kind of binge this series. So basically this follows 4 elderly people who live in this retirement home, and they have this Thursday murder club where they try and solve cold cases, unsolved murders, and then a murder happens at their doorstep and they are trying to solve it. Like I said, I've been hearing so many good things about it. A lot of people say that you should read it while listening to the audiobook, since that is one of my reading goals this year, to listen to more audiobooks. Maybe this can also help me achieve that goal. I'm very excited about it, like I said. It's not too long, and this year I've been trying to read more mysteries because I've been in the mood for them, so yeah, very excited about this one. Moving on to challenge number 2. This one. Okay, read a sci-fi romance. Basically, it's an alien romance. Let me think. Obviously, the obvious one would be Ice Planet Barbarians, but that has already been a book that was on a previous TBR, so I'm not gonna pick that one. A part of me actually wants to read not an alien romance, more like a dystopian romance, so let me think. Yeah, actually I have one. I'm gonna go for Last Light by Claire Kent. So technically this is part of a series, but this one can be read as a standalone. I know Jen over at the Book Refuge really loves this series. And like I said, it's post-apocalyptic, so that is a sci-fi. And this is actually on the first page of my book rec form because Jen keeps recommending this series. So Last Light, like I said, is a standalone, but then there's Haven. I'm sorry if you can hear that. That is my dishwasher. So it's part of the Kindled series, technically. But yeah, anyway, this book, Last Light. So this is in a world, like I said, a couple years after the apocalypse. And the US is basically a lawless land, and there are pockets of cities around. So there's only 3 states left, and the heroine for this book, she wants to travel to one of these 3 states since all her family has died. And now the only person she can trust is Travis, who used to fix her car. And I believe while they are on their way to one of these states, they also decide to be like friends with benefits. It sounds amazing, like I said, and I know Jen loves it, and since I really trust her opinions, hopefully I'll love it too. Moving on, I hope to get like a more interesting prompt. Let's see. Okay, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. If I'm gonna get another like genre prompt, I'm gonna put it back. Okay, again. This is a genre prompt. It was read a manga, which, I mean, technically, maybe I should. You know what? No. I said no genre prompts, so this one. Oh, these are two. Okay. Okay. Let me do this one. Okay, random shelves. Okay. I seem to be only getting prompts that I have had in the past before. That's okay. So basically random shelves is I count all the shelves that I have, which I have 4 bookcases times 6, which is 36, right? Can I do math? Yeah, no, apparently I cannot. It's 24. Wait, am I right? That's right? Yeah. Yeah, okay. 24 shelves. Anyway. Okay, 24 shelves. So I'm just gonna have Siri pick a random number. So, hey Siri, pick a random number between 1 and 24. Don't interrupt me. 20. Okay, so basically it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, I don't know if that one is double stacked, but how about you come with me and we'll pick a book out together. Okay, so this is shelf number 20, which I gotta tell you, this TBR I'm not really feeling, but I guess we'll see. Maybe it has something to do with my reading slump. These are all classics, which obviously I should not be reading. Ooh, maybe I should just read Cersei. Or I should continue on with the Illuminate files. You know what? I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna pick Illuminate, even though technically this is a reread. Let's talk about it when I'm back on the couch. Yeah, like I said, this TBR is not really that exciting for me, but I'm gonna pick Illuminate. So technically this is a reread. I read it years ago and I only read it physically. And to be honest, I was not a big a fan of this as a lot of other people seem to be. So my plan was always to reread this one and this time listen to it while reading it and then hopefully continue on with the series or decide that it's just not the series for me and just DNF it. So I think this is the right, I'm just gonna do that. So just like I said with the Thursday Murder Club, this one I'm also just gonna, I already own the audiobook, so I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna read it while listening to it. Maybe this will actually help me get me out of my reading slump. So yeah, basically the Illuminate files is the first book. You follow Katie and Ezra, I think. They just broke up. And then they break up on the same day her planet gets invaded. So I think, yeah, they go on this spaceship and then they have to work together to fight this AI gone rogue. So yeah, I'm sure I did a horrible job explaining this, but yeah, like I said, I have been meaning to reread this one this year. And once again, it will help me reach my audiobook goal. So yeah, moving on. This one. Previous TBR. So basically I go back to my old TBRs and pick a book that I really want to read again. So let's see. I'm gonna go for The Score by Elle Kennedy. So this was on actually last month's CBR, on July's CBR, but obviously I did not get around to it. Actually, I read The Deal and the Mistake in August of last year for my sports romance vlog. So it has been high time for me to finally continue on with this series. Really want to finish this series this year because I really want to read the Briar You series and I really want to read the spin-offs or like the Next Gen series. So like I said, it has been a year since I read the first two. I still remember a lot about those two, especially The Deal. I really loved it. It was one of my favorite books I read last year. It's basically about Dean, who's a playboy, and then he has a one-night stand. And usually he's used to girls like basically being clingy afterwards and wanting a relationship. And he's very surprised and intrigued that this girl is not interested. Her name is Allie. And now, obviously, since she doesn't want him, he all of a sudden becomes interested. And it's a sports romance. It's a hockey college romance. I tend to fly through those. So hopefully this will also help me get me out of my reading slump. So for the last one, this one. Okay. Owned TBR, published before 2015. So I wasn't gonna mention this because technically I did a These Books Will Self-Destruct in 12 Months video. I decided to cheat and not get rid of most of them. Well, not get rid of all of them. I'm gonna get rid of a lot of them, but not all. So, but technically they're all published before 2015. So technically I should pick one of them to read before the year is over, because I believe I made that video in August. Yeah, let me pick one of them. I'm gonna go for The Dust of 100 Dogs by A.S. King. This one, I was 100% sure that I was gonna get to it this year, or like in the last 12 months, and I just did not. When I picked it, I knew that I was not gonna unhaul it before reading it because I was still interested in this book. Basically, you follow this pirate in the late 17th century. She was on the cusp of escaping the pirate life with her one true love and unfathomable riches when she was slain and cursed with the dust of 100 dogs, dooming her to 100 lives as a dog before returning to her human body with her memories intact. This sounds very interesting, but also heartbreaking and very sad. A.S. King is one of those authors that kind of gets mixed reviews. A lot of, like, she writes weird books, so people who tend to love weird books tend to really love her. I have never read an A.S. King, even though I have a couple books of hers on my shelves, so I really should read her. I'm not sure how I feel about weird books. I tend to not really love them, but this one, since it's obviously a fantasy, will give me the best chance of trying her, and this will, I think, will give me the best odds, because I tend to struggle with magical realism, which is what she usually writes. But this, since it's about pirates, it's about curses, it's fantasy, and it's not too long. It is only 320 pages. So yeah, this is my TBR. It's a very mixed bag, not like a lot of my usual genres. So I have a sci-fi romance with Last Light, then I have a young adult sci-fi with Illuminae, a fantasy with The Dust of 100 Dogs, a mystery with The Thursday Murder Club, and then a sports romance with The Score. So yes, hopefully I can get to a couple of them. I do have to say, out of all of them, I think Illuminae will be the one that I'll probably start with, considering it feels like, even though it's the longest, since it's all like mixed media and interviews and stuff like that, and since I'm gonna be listening to it, it feels like the least daunting. Like, some of these barely have any words, like some of these pages. So yeah, there are some new releases I really am very interested in. Let me tell you about those. The first one is obviously Daydream by Hannah Gray. So this is the third book in her Maple Hill series, the first two being Icebreaker and Wildfire. I really loved both of them, especially Wildfire was one of my favorite books I read last year. This book, you follow Henry, who I've been really wanting his book. And like I said, this is the third book. So like I said, it's about Henry. He's now a hockey captain. So this takes place a couple years after the first two, because obviously Nate, he was captain in the first book. He accidentally crashes this book club, Hallie's book club, and they become friends. He is struggling with his grades, so she offers to tutor him. And then obviously they're gonna fall in love. I love that. I always love the sports player with the tutor. I think, like, core memories for me are Nathan and Haley from One Tree Hill. Like, I ship them so hard. So I always tend to love that. That is, I think, one of the reasons why The Deal was one of my favorite books. Another one I'm really looking forward to, and I think will definitely help me in getting me out of my slump, is The Hunted Heir by Holly Renee. So this is the sequel to The Veiled Kingdom, which is a fantasy romance, and I really love The Veiled Kingdom. Like, I inhaled that book. That book, I just flew through it. It was so good to me. So I think the sequel I will also love. It comes out around my birthday too, so very excited about that. Yeah, so The Veiled Kingdom was about this princess, this secret princess who gets found by this rebellion, and she has to keep that a secret, but she also falls in love with the rebellion leader. It was so good. It was so smutty. like I said, and it was like candy. I could not stop reading it. So yeah, those two I'm very much excited about. And yeah, I would also really love to know if you have any recommendations for books that could get you out of, that got you out of a reading slump, or books that are just like fast, quick reads that are just easy to read. Definitely let me know in the comments below, because I'm very much looking forward to read some books that will finally get me out of my reading slump. Although I do have to say, I have always said that my reading is kind of tied to how I'm feeling. If I'm happy and a lot of exciting things are happening in my life, I tend to read a little bit less. Whereas if I am down a little bit, if my mental health is struggling a little bit, if I don't have a whole lot going on in my life, then I do tend to read a lot. So technically it's a good thing, because I have some exciting things happening in my life, but I do like to have a balance. Like, I really love reading. It brings me an immense amount of joy. So even though, like I said, there's other things that are bringing me joy right now too, and that are making me happy, I also still want to read. So yeah, I don't like that I'm this way, that I tend to like stop reading when my life is becoming interesting, and inhaling books when it's like not. So I want to find more of a balance. So yeah, I just don't like the fact that I'm not reading at all. So yeah, like I said, give me all your recommendations, and what is a book that you're very much looking forward to reading in the month of August. I'm going to London for the Eras tour for Taylor Swift. So a lot of exciting things happening too, but I also just want to read. Like I said, how many times can I repeat myself? I really hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely let me know by leaving a like if you did, and thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.